Hey everybody, this is Ori from OneScales. In today's video, I'm going to cover the 8 best SEO reports in Google Analytics 4 for you guys that are doing SEO. I've been doing SEO for 20 years, obviously working with Google Analytics and now Google Analytics 4. And I would like to share my insight of the 8 reports that I use that could be helpful for you guys. Some of them you may know and some of them you may not know. And I wanted to showcase to you these things. So let's go over. The first one is the most obvious one, but there are some insights and some interesting tips here. So the Search Console report. So what is that? If you have Search Console and you've linked it, you first need to link Search Console to Google Analytics 4. You're going to go to the admin, click on product links, go to Search Console, make sure you link it. If you haven't linked, there should be no information here. You click, you share information, and then the first time what you're going to have to do is go to Library, Reports and Library. Make sure under Collections that you see Search Console, and you're going to have to actually publish it right here. Click on the 3 dots, click on Publish. I've already published it. That's why I can see my reports right here. The first report are the queries reports. Which search terms are people typing in google.com and actually finding your website, either appearing by impressions or actually clicking to your website, which search term. So here you can see all the terms that you're ranking for. You cannot see them on any other places. Unlike a Universal Analytics before, you have to go to the Search Console queries report for it. And you can see here all the clicks, all the information. So what is one way you can actually use this? You can actually go to Organic Google Search Average Position. You can click here. Okay, and you can actually find the rankings that are ranked. Let's go right here. You can find the terms that are ranked, let's say, on page maybe 10 to 20. So for example, page 2, rankings 10 to 20, and you can actually go and try to improve those. So for example, I can see here, I have all these terms that are almost on the first page, but I can actually go ahead and they don't get any traffic in my case. So I can actually go and try to improve those. I can actually go to the landing pages, try to make sure I have those keywords, make sure I have those links, internal links, etc., alt text, all these things, and I can actually try to improve them. Okay. The second part of the reports are Search Console. Okay, Search Console organic traffic. So the first one are the queries. This is talking about the pages. So we can see which pages are actually performing well, and I can actually try to improve those pages. So we have here the click-through rates, obviously the average position, and I can actually see which pages actually have bad click-through rates, good click-through rates, and I can actually go to improve them. Okay, this is pretty obvious. A lot of you know these kind of things. Okay, the next one is the organic traffic changes alerts. Now, as you know, your rankings change every day, all day. They change all the time. They change based on algorithm changes. They change based on needs, and they are personal. So one user may get different rankings for the other one, right? So different visitors have different rankings. They change all the time, right? So one thing to do is to set an alert that if something changes greatly in organic, maybe there's a big update, you don't want to know about it a month later, maybe when you do a monthly report or something like that. You want to know about it immediately. So you can actually use Google Analytics Insights to send you an email if something changes organically in some weird way, right? So how do you do that? You're going to go to either reports and the report snapshot or the home page, and you're going to click on Insights right here, and you're going to click actually on Create. Let me go right here. Let's go to Insights. I'm going to click on Create, and I'm going to click on Create from Scratch. I'm going to click on Create from Scratch, and I'm going to set up an alert for me, either daily or weekly. I recommend, depending on your traffic. You can also set one monthly and one weekly, etc. And you're going to specify here, for example, views, and either has an anomaly, which I personally like. So Google Analytics will check your historic data and see if there's an anomaly, and then it'll alert you. Or you can actually set some kind of thresholds. For example, if my organic is less than, for example, 1,000 visits a day or whatever it might be, depending on your frequency, send an alert and send an alert to this email, for example. And then this is where you specify what's written in the email. What is the specific alert? Okay, now make sure that you segment organic. So instead of all users anomalies, make sure you actually go here and you go to your traffic sources, for example, Medium, and then you go here to organic. Now, if you want to do only Google organic, you can actually add Right here, you can add the source exactly equals Google, and then you can do the medium equals organic. So if you really want it only from Google, you can do that. If you want it from all organic, Yahoo, Bing, etc., you can set up, you can click on apply, and then all you have to do is save it. Okay. After you save it, once you have any alerts, you'll get it by email, and you'll also see it here in the insights, itself, right here. Let's go to the home. You can see in the insights, it will appear right here. Okay. You can also manage them right here, etc. Okay. Next one. The next one are filtered by organic. When you go here, almost all page in all pages right here, you can actually go ahead and not just see the organic traffic, all traffic, you can actually filter by all traffic. So when you're on your reports, it'll show you the reports of every single report here based on all your users. You can click on comparison. You can go here and you can scroll down to your source. Session right here, session source medium or source, depending if you want only organic or organic Google. And you can click here, for example, Google organic, click apply, and you can either see them in comparison. So you can see, for example, all users compared to only Google organic, or you can just see it by itself right here. And you can see only the organic, how it does, and then you can adjust. Now, almost all reports, in all reports you can do it, but in almost all reports you can actually see some data that's helpful for you. Okay, so don't forget to look at all your data based on only organic, and you can see keywords and traffic and tech and users, etc., etc. Next one. The next one is finding the 404s, right? You need to, as a SEO, or you need to fix your 404s. If there's less broken pages, less broken links from one page to the other, it's better. The search engines can visit the page. Your users won't find 404 pages, and you'll get better rankings. So how do you do that? You're going to go here to your engagement to your pages, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to change the first column to page title, so you can see page title, and then the second column you're going to click on, you're going to add another one called page path, so you can see the URL and you can actually see the title tag, and then you're going to filter by 404s right here, hit enter, and you'll see all the visits based on your time frame of the 404s, and you'll see the specific URL that was linked that is wrong. For example, this looks like it's actual typo from the website, so I have to go back and I actually have to fix the link because it looks like by mistake I added 2 links in one href inside. Okay, and then I can decide if I want to redirect, I want to fix the links, I want to find, I can go right here. Okay, next one. What we want to do now is improve the SEO of our pages. There's 2 types of pages we want to improve via Google Analytics 4. Number 1 is improving SEO on high converting pages. So let's look at that for a second. So I can go to my pages in screen reports, and I can look at the session conversion rate. And I can look at these pages that have very high conversions, and I can decide to improve the SEO better because I know that my goal is not just bringing traffic to my website, but actually converting, making a sale or sign up or registration or something like that. So any pages that have high conversion rate, I probably want to work on those, and I want to improve the SEO of them. So I can take this page, I can go to the page, edit the page, improve the SEO because it already converts better. All I need to do is get more people to it. The second thing I can do is add a call to action on existing high ranking pages. So I'm looking, for example, at organic right here. I can look at the most popular pages. So for example, this one got the most amount of views, and I can actually go ahead and I can edit this page and add a call to action to whatever my conversion is, my sign up or my purchase or my products or stuff like that. So these are ways you can improve the bottom line, which are the conversions on pages that either are important or pages that you want them to be important, right? Okay. So next one is the exit rates. So what we used to call many years ago, Pogo sticking. Let me explain the concept. So Google rankings have a lot of different ways to rank. So you have title tags, and you have links, and you have alt tags and page speed, and all kinds of stuff like that. One of the theories behind SEO is if Google wants to provide the best results they can for their search engine. If people go and search for a specific term, they search for the term and they click on your website and they don't like it, immediately they come back and they click on the next result. And if they do that enough times, the users of Google will show Google that your result is not good because they pogo stick back, they jump back, they go to your website, they don't find what they want, they go back, they click on the next result. And so you basically want to have your pages have low bounce rates. You want your pages to be engaging, and you want your pages to provide the result of what the searcher was actually searching for. So what you can do is look at pages that have a very high bounce rate, which means the users came to your page and then left immediately, and then you can actually improve those pages, improve the layout, the wording, the images, and the the conversions on it. So how do you do that? You can go to your pages, again, engagement pages report, and you can find all your pages, and you can actually find the bounce rate column. And within the bounce rate column, you can actually look at the ones that are very, very high. For example, this article has a 66.67% bounce rate. That means 2/3 of the people come to the page and then leave. They don't even visit the rest of the site. Any other pages they don't visit at all. And so I can go ahead and I can start to improve this page to have less people bounce back and go back to Google. Okay. Now, one thing that's very important is bounce rate. High bounce rate is not necessarily a bad thing, but it will give you a metric to see if people are leaving. Sometimes people just want to read one article and they leave. It's also okay, but it is a good metric for you to start looking at your pages to see if they're actually relevant and good and they can be upgraded. Next one. Title tags. I want to actually be able to easily see a list of all my title tags. Instead of going to my platform, my backend, and trying to export something, I can actually see a list of everything, and I can see if there's any typos, anything very, very easily, and if there's any duplicate titles or things like that. So how do I see that? I go to my page screens report. I change the first column with a drop down to page title, and then the second one, I'm going to do the page path so I can actually see the URL. And then I can see all of the lists right here. If I want, I can actually I can actually sort them by alphabetical. For example, you see here I have one that's in the language in Thai, which is obviously an issue for me, so I need to fix that. And then you can see all of the ones right here. You can see them, and you can actually see more. You can see all of them one by one, and you can actually go ahead here. You can click on share. You can export it to CSV, and you can easily do any kind of work and manipulation you want on your computer. Okay? So the last one are to exclude referrals. If you remember, we don't just talk about getting more traffic to the website. We actually want to convert better, and in this case, we want to report better. So one of the things you want to have are your conversions, right? You want to know how many conversions come from a specific source. So I'm going to go to acquisition, traffic acquisition, and I want to make sure that organic is attributed to the conversions correctly. In some cases, especially in e-commerce sites, some cases you get some conversion. For example, let's see right here, my conversion. You get some conversion from something that doesn't make sense. So for example, maybe I have like a payment gateway, maybe like PayPal is getting the conversion, but actually organic is the one that brought the user. And the reason for that is maybe before when the customer needs to pay, they arrive via organic, and then they clicked on pay, they left, they went to PayPal, they paid, they came back. So PayPal got the attribution. So you want to exclude certain referral traffic from getting the conversion if it doesn't make sense. In this case, youtube.com is relevant for the conversion, so I don't want to exclude it. But maybe like PayPal or some payment gateway or some other system that the customer left and came back, maybe that's actually causing a wrong conversion label. So how do I do that? I go to my admin. I go here to property settings. I go to data collection, click on my data streams, click on the actual stream itself, and I'm going to click on configure tag settings right here. I'm going to scroll down to show more, and I'm going to click on list unwanted referrals, and I'm just going to add the referral, for example, paypal.com or sandbox.this or whatever it might be. I'm going to click on save, and then from then on, it will not attribute that referral that you don't want to attribute. So I hope this makes sense for everybody. If you have any questions about the 8 best reports and how to use them, please let me know. Ask in the comments, contact us on the website, in the comments on the article. We're going to link everything in the YouTube comments and in our articles. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to go more detail, let us know. If you have other reports that you like to use that you want to share with us, we would love to learn from you guys as well. And as always, we're here to create a community to help share information between you guys and us. We're here to help you guys. If you did like, please subscribe. I much appreciate it. Please share. Please like it. Please send to a friend, social media, etc., etc. And we'll be making more and more videos on Google Analytics, e-commerce, and many, many more tech-related things. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you.